it's just really fun to kind of find visual one-to-ones for all of the imagery, because, you know, we're all obsessed with Riven and this lagoon, and then you're like, oh, it really exists in real life, and we can go there. Let's go to the Virgin Isles right now. Yeah, there's a lot of this, and I'm sure we all kind of have it in our brains constantly. You know, you're walking around the world, and you're like, hey, that lever looks like this. That lever, I'm going to pull it. This one I love is this beautiful, like, 18th century clock that just completely looks like something Gan would have owned. And then this is me. I took Daedalus. He dated for a while. He made me a mist book, which I adore, and so I took it on a journey with me and took it all over the Southwest to take exciting photos of it in different mystical places. So yeah. And so in a similar vein, I also tend to do a lot of travel journals while I'm out and about, doing drawings of rocks and more rocks and different kinds of rocks, and I really like rocks. And because that's a thing I love doing, it's also a thing I love doing for the Myst games. And so I've been keeping a Myst journal since I existed in 2001. Since Myst 3, so I was probably 15 or so, so apologies for some of the earlier. But, so I brought this with me. I have it in real life as well. It's my little Myst journal that I've been keeping. So the beginning is kind of embarrassing, because I was 15. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to scroll to me everywhere and write Myst Exile and gritty letters, and it was in pencil. It wasn't very pretty to look at, that sort of thing. Wow. But with Myst 4 and 5, I stepped up my game. And I started using a dip pen and proper ink, and I kept my notes the whole time and tried to draw diagrams and stuff as if I was actually there. Which, for better or for worse, includes a lot of angry ranting in these journals, so be forewarned. So I did Myst 4. I shared Myst 4 and 5 last year, so I'm not going to show those today, just a couple little hints of what those journals look like. But now that I played Uru, I can finally share that journal with everyone. Myst 5. So yeah, my Uru journal, which I'm so excited. It was so fun to finally get to, I was just constantly texting my friends, being like, I understand all these jokes you're making. So going to class. Just sort of drawing, I tried to keep true to just drawing what made sense to me, not forcing myself to draw anything that seemed out of place. So diagrams for puzzles, drawing baroglyphs and petroglyphs, things like that, or just drawing interesting assemblages of objects. I did cheat on a work skull. I looked at a work skull from Riven, because the one in Uru was pretty low res. So yeah, tons of notes from Kadish. And those are actual ink drops. I'm not faking that. That's me just messing up a lot, which is really fun. My sad drawing of Kadish dead in the corner.
Sparkly symbol.
The notes for this one are hilarious because I think I've solved it like 6 times in a row. And so you see me, oh yeah, there's a thing here that says, let's see, is there any sense of order to this arbitrary nonsense? The answer is no, never. This is a fool's errand, and the Dini are sadists. I think that's accurate. That's accurate. Why did I do that age first? Why did I do that age first? So yeah, it's just really fun to get to share this. I know a ton of other people do Myst journals as well, and this is one of my prized, precious objects that I love to keep with me. And it's just neat to see the progression over the course. Like, I like that I'm still doing it now that I'm 28. Still like Myst. Don't worry, 15-year-old Claire. It's still there. Yeah, we're all still here. That's good. And so I'm excited to eventually add abduction into this as well. So that would be fun. Yeah, just a bunch of pretty diagrams. So if anyone wants to take a look at this up close or anything and page through it and to see my embarrassing Myst 3 notes as well, you're more than welcome to bug me after this. But yeah. There's so many baroglyphs. Do you guys realize I was like, I'm going to draw every single one? I regretted that immediately. It's horrible. Lots of arguing with myself about fireflies here. Yeah, all these puzzles people had warned me about, I suddenly understood. Just screaming. Yeah, and so obviously getting the cleft at the end. So that's, as far as I've gone, there's still other ages for me to check out, so I'm really psyched. But yeah, so that's my presentation of Mist Art. Yeah.
Any questions for Claire? Right up front.
Claire, I've admired your artwork for quite some time now, and a lot of people that go into the type of work you do have an innate ability to draw and do that type of stuff. Did you start that way? Did you go to school? And what type of advice would you give to anyone who wants to do multi-medium art like you?
I definitely grew up drawing and went to RISD, Rhode Island School of Design, so I definitely was on that path. But I also worked with a ton of amazing people who picked up art later in life. I think it's disingenuous to consider it this innate skill that you can't get. Like, yes, some people kind of have an eye for things, but if you're motivated, if you put in the time and effort, you can definitely push yourself to become an artist and get into this industry. And it's kind of neat to be in an industry where it's less about getting a degree and more about actually proving yourself out in your portfolio and just boots on the ground kind of work. So I think it's totally possible. There are tons of amazing online resources nowadays, and artists have blogs where they're just spewing advice and techniques. That sounds gross, but in the nicest way possible, they're spewing advice. James Gurney's blog is just addicting, the guy who did Dinotopia. I feel like everyone who likes Mist probably likes Dinotopia. But his blog is amazing. He's just constantly sharing his techniques, things like that. There are online tutors and classes and schoolism and all of these amazing things. So I definitely think it's possible to do that sort of thing later down the road, not feeling like you have to have been, sorry, should I just back up? Black screen, here we go. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but it's totally possible. And a lot of it is just working hard, keeping an eye on what's in the industry. Yeah.
Before we take more questions, two things. One, when someone asked, could you repeat the question for the live stream? And two,
oh yeah, sorry live stream.
The live stream would like to know if you could stand up on the stage so they can actually see you instead of doing this.
Oh, okay. Sorry guys.
See me?
What?
They did want to see you, but they wanted to see Ruben more. So.
And maybe dance a jig.
So yes, the question is this. Yeah, there we go. So the question was about whether or not it was important for artistic skill to be innate, whether you've had it your entire life, that sort of thing, or if it's something you can pick up later on, and if I have advice in that arena. So yes, that's what I just said. Yeah.
Anyone else?
I'm so glad I came up with you. What? Well, it just initially wasn't available for Mac. Yeah. And I don't know, I was in college, I was bitter. I went to Mass Hysteria in Boston, and people couldn't believe. I remember I started posting sketches, and Claude commented on Facebook, like, what? We've been friends and you haven't played Uru. It was very embarrassing. It was just something I never really got around to. It was horrible because, it takes me a long time to play these games because I'm taking notes the entire time. I'm doing drawings, and so each night I would make like a tiny bit of progress. So it was nice to finally be able to sit down and dedicate the time to it. Yes.
How long did it take you to draw down all those baroglyphs so perfectly?
Oh my god. Too long? I think I actually just turned off the sound on Uru and put on a movie. Drew them while I was doing that. Just very annoying. But the nice thing with baroglyphs, if you draw them poorly, it still looks like you drew them correctly. So you're kind of okay. Yeah, I think that might be it.
We have one question from live stream.
Yes.
Live stream would like to know if you have any plans to sell those shirts you design.
I'd have to ask Cyan. But I'd be happy to. I got them printed through Society6, so that's easy enough to do. I will check with Cyan because I want to be respectful. What?
Thumbs up, Brad.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Okay, live stream, we want this. This shirt. We want this shirt. just have them. I brought a bunch of prints just at the last minute, so I have prints like large, small, and postcard-sized prints of Cirrus drinking his wine, and also the Falling Man print. So if anyone wants one, you can just come and bug me, and I'll happily provide. Yeah.
Are the pictures from your journal online somewhere?
Not yet, but I just optimized them all, so I'll probably start posting them, and I will tell the world. But yeah, if I do post them, I'll talk about it on Mystic Places, mystic-places.com or mysticplaces.tumblr.com. Check it out.